again.
Because that's,
Yeah, that's where some people got stuck yesterday, remember? So I have it up here one more time, just in case you need to get it out. Sorry, just in case you need to check it, because you redid it last night. Today we are turning in 22 and 23. I'm going to scroll down. Sorry. 21 and 22. So get out both of those homeworks. Josh, just go ahead and focus when you check out the answers. Tyler, Mom, is this okay?
Bob.
21 was the one that was due yesterday, but we didn't turn it in because some people had questions. 22 is the one today.
Willio, Bob.
Oh my gosh, I hate that song.
Do you remember what question it was? I had one.
Alright, here's your
I
homework.
want you to sing it.
Do you have
Here
it?
it is, guys.
Do you know what question it was?
You can check it out right here, kiddo. 23 through, can you guys help us out? 23 through
39.
39, and then there's a few extra ones you'll see at the end.
62 to 60.
Yeah.
39, that was
33 through
36.
39, 44,
Yeah,
62,
okay, I don't know.
Dang it. Thank you. I can't. Nobody's giving me $5.
He's still married to you.
Yeah.
I think it was just really
Athletic office.
Oh my god. Some kid just wiped out.
It's easy to
Yeah,
do.
look at
No, it wasn't me. Some kid wiped out. Slid into a locker.
This kid said, water slide.
Right?
No.
Where's your homework?
I'm giving my parents a wheelchair for their birthday.
I'm not gonna give you
Because it's their 50th.
Oh, fantastic. Barry, where's your homework? Where's yesterday's homework?
Yesterday's homework, I.
We didn't turn it in yesterday, we're turning it in today.
Oh my god.
Where are your notes?
We're on the same page.
Guys.
Look, Trap!
Let's go.
I haven't seen him in forever.
Where?
Alright.
Jordan, so salty.
Kiddos, we have stuff to get done today. And
you.
wait. And if, good, we're checking the homework due today. It's this one right here.
Oh.
Right here. This one right here, number 22.
That was a lot.
Wait, I'm confused.
21 we're turning in from yesterday because some people had a couple extra questions.
I think I did the wrong homework.
Well, 21 is due today. Is that what you have?
No. I think on Red Web it said 369.
That's the one that's tonight's homework.
No, I did
Should
tonight.
I do it? What do we have this weekend?
Study for biology.
This page, you're gonna show it to me, and then remind me on Tuesday, and I can mark like an excuse on your other ones.
That's it. Unless you get something from my teacher.
Hopefully not.
Oh. I did Friday tonight's homework.
That's crazy.
I'm the smartest
So you
kid
say
in
you
the
should finish
world.
one page.
I'm scrolling down.
I'll kill it.
Oh,
Yeah.
and only one space line and 5 columns. I would just take that.
I would too, man. That's so high. I can't believe it.
The answer is in the question.
4, 8, 5.
Look like you got bowling pin.
Is this the number that you on right?
You got bowling pin.
Write it again.
Yeah, this is the boot I used to stop out down his face.
What?
This is the boot that I used to stop out your face.
You never stopped me. You never will.
Yeah. But I'm 20 years old now. 6'4".
Well, you even know.
When I go back, you're gonna be on series 7.
I really be 6'4". Like 250 pounds of muscle.
Hey Caleb, let me see your homework. You already checked all of it.
No.
Well, then why are you talking about it?
I shouldn't have been.
Kiddos, if you are impeding our progress today, we have stuff to get done. Impeding means stopping or delaying or distracting. The noises need to cease, the silly talk needs to cease, we need to act like the high schoolers that we are.
Huh.
Alright? Because some people are already done and they're just bored. They're waiting, and everyone else should have been done checking already.
Alfini.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and scroll down so we had a couple more at the end. There we go. That's why we don't get distracted. Alright, we should be close.
Done.
I have my little post-it note right here in order to start writing down homework questions that you guys have ready. So, anybody who's gotten something wrong, if you're like, oh, I don't know why, can we look at that question? Go ahead and raise your hand and let me know. Yeah, Diego. 34? Okay. Anything else, guys? Yeah, Justin.
62.
62?
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else, I think? A couple of you are still checking. I'm gonna scroll right over here and get number 34 ready first.
What was the homework? Like the actual number?
I had it up there just a second ago. I'll put it up again.
44, 62, 64.
Yes.
Okay, Robert, how high do you need me to go, buddy?
Like,
Alright, that means you're a little distracted, right?
Babe.
Just try to improve. If we're not improving, then sorries don't mean much. But if we're improving, then it's a good sign.
Can prove it.
Alright, number 34. We had a question on this, as some of you might still be finishing checking your homework. Question. Before we can ever start combining, what do we have to be very, very, very careful of? Very.
You gotta, the negative,
Mhm.
you gotta put it in.
Exactly. So we need to go ahead and put this negative in. One way to see it, for some of us who are like, I don't get the negative going in, you could look at this as adding a negative 1 out in front, and it needs to go to everybody. Everybody, everybody, everybody. Does that make sense? It needs to go to everyone in that expression. So let me scroll to the end real quick. Let's see if I have this homework. There we go. Is that Lou?
Well, she's not.
yeah.
What's Lou's last name? No, that's
Wow.
Juan. Barry, yours is
Wall. It's different.
It's so confusing.
That's me.
You have so much meaning. Do you want me to take it back?
No, we're good.
It's
So you distribute that negative, distribute the negative, then combine like terms. So let's go ahead and see. I think I have my notes right here. Here's what happens when we distribute that negative.
positive takes the negative. Negative takes
It
the
changes the
positive.
sign of each of the pieces. So on number, what was this, 34? Let's go down so I can see it, unless all of these are turned off, so that's all close.
I was your plan.
I know, guys, technology has been a beast today. Just a moment. There we go. Alan, you got all of these right on homework list?
Yeah.
Okay, you checked them all?
I was just all.
How come?
I mean, I had it up. I think I did, but I don't know. I checked all of them. Yeah.
Alright, so Alan, help me out. When you distribute this negative, so since you checked them and got him right, what would you do on this problem?
Number 34, you multiply it by, I think it's 1 or negative 1.
By negative 1.
Negative 1.
Why does it have to be a negative 1?
Make it the plus.
Yeah. And then what was in front of the very first parenthesis? A positive 1. So what's going to happen when I get rid of the first parentheses, guys?
Nothing's gonna change.
They stay the same. And what's going to happen when I distribute in the next parentheses?
Negative 3n squared is gonna be positive.
It's going to be a positive 3n squared. What's going to happen to my 10n?
Minus
Oh my
What's
god.
going to happen to my 4 is going to be a minus. Now, using kind of what Jordan was saying at the end of yesterday, I need to combine like terms. Who's gonna go with 4m squared?
3m squared.
Got it. And it's gonna make something in just a moment. What's gonna go with my, if you need to, my negative m? I have my negative m and it's gonna go with, sure, negative 10m. Remember, whenever there's a subtraction, that number needs to be a negative, or else we're gonna get in trouble. And then we're gonna combine our constants together as well. Remember, whenever there's a subtraction, we're treating it like a negative number.
Of course.
So, our final answer should be 7m squared, looking at these two. Got him. What's the next piece gonna be? What's our n term? Negative what?
Oh wait. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Negative 1 minus 10 or plus a negative 10. Jay, you got it? Negative 1 minus 10 is what?
Negative 1 minus 10. I
Nope.
know, good.
Negative 11.
I'm not dumb. I know.
No.
Why didn't you say the
No. Wait. Why are we laughing? That's a hard thing that tons of people miss all the time, even in my
Yeah,
other
Jay,
math
I'm one of
classes.
them.
So check it. Negative 1m plus negative 10m. Gotta be careful about negatives. Negative 11m. And what's 2 plus negative 4 gonna be?
-2.
2 minus 4, or 2 plus a negative 4 is a negative 2, right? Jay, this is kind of hard for you right there. You need to move back.
Alright.
Come on, you want someone to go, though.
All right, the other question you guys had was number 62. Justin, I think you said that one. Can you read the problem for us quickly?
Alright,
Okay,
we're 2 parentheses x minus 1 parentheses plus 3 parentheses x minus plus 2.
double check real fast, Justin. Did I write it right?
Yeah.
Cool. Dylan, what's the very first step we should do?
First you're gonna wanna wait, where are we? Oh, okay. So to make it 2x.
Good. What's that called? Do you remember when you bring it in?
Distributed.
Yeah. Use Barry's word. What is it?
Distribute.
Okay, distributing.
So
So good. So 2 times x is,
2x
keep going.
minus 1.
Careful.
Or,
You gotta multiply.
oh, minus 2. Yeah,
Got it,
that's
got
why.
it, got it.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, and then plus 3x plus 6.
So we can go ahead and combine like terms. Now guys, I'm not gonna always do the color coding thing. I'm just trying to make sure that we're all tracking on what I'm doing with combining like terms. Remember, subtraction makes those numbers next to it negatives, and that's how we know to put them together. So, what do we end up as our final answer, Justin?
5x before I get it. It's just because I just left it as 2x minus 2.
Yeah, it's easy to do. It's easy to do. So make sure you distribute and then combine like terms. Alright, kiddos, I need you to do a couple things for me. Ready? I need you to focus and start writing down a new section of notes. And while you do that, or while you get ready to do that, pass your homework. And you're like, I can't do 2 things at once. Okay, cool. Pass your homework first, and then go straight to your notes, alright? Homework 21 and 22. I'll take them all. 21 and 22.
Right here.
Alright, Dave, where's your notes?
You wanna say them together?
What? They're 2 separate homeworks, right?
Yeah.
Alright, any more homeworks 21 or 22?
Yeah, sure.
Oh,
Alright, you guys should be focused right away. You should be focused right away on notes.
right away.
I think Rob did.
Right away. I ran out of paper.
Alright. Alright, you guys get your notes ready right away. Let me go ahead and try to get those examples in there for you.
Sorry, the last one.
That's cool.
Alan, is the notes, you already have the 7.2 written down, multiply and polynomials?
I already, yeah, I have it on the first page, because we already took notes on this.
Discontinuation.
Can you write down the one? I don't know.
Oh, yes.
Or, yeah. So otherwise it's easier. Okay. So let's go ahead and simplify the following. Thanks, Ron. Okay, sorry, kiddos. Wow. Where are we at? Multiplying polynomials. Okay. So if I was to give you the following, let's do 2x times 3x squared. Then let's do 5 plus x plus x squared minus 6x. Then let's do negative x cubed times 2x squared. Focus on it now. And let's do 2 minus x minus x plus. Okay, so none of these problems are new per se. None of these problems are new necessarily. And I know a lot of you guys can probably, or you think you can do them fast, but you have to make sure you're doing them correctly. There are so many little mistakes we can hit in today's lesson and the lessons that are coming. So you're in your notes, go ahead and once you have them written down, try to simplify. Try to simplify, and all that means is combine like terms. If it's adding and subtracting, or maybe using exponent rules if we're multiplying. What do you think these would be? Let me give you just a few moments.
Oh, there it is. Finally. Missed it. I found my other.
Yeah, 7.2. Remember, Diego, it's been up here for a while. That was at the very top of the page.
I found my other one. I can find it.
Let's go ahead and see how you guys did. I'm not worried per se that some of you might have gotten stuck on where to start, okay? But most of you, I'm a little more worried that you did it perfectly. Now, I don't expect perfection at the very beginning per se, but this is review, so we want to be able to do them perfectly, right? Or else maybe what's coming is going to be even harder. But that doesn't mean that we couldn't make mistakes, and hopefully we'll learn from those mistakes. That's a life lesson, right? When we make mistakes, Jordan, make sure you look up here. When we make mistakes, we want to learn from them. So, I want you to see if you made any mistakes on 1 through 4, and if so, let's see if we can learn from them before we need to keep on going with our section. So, when we take number 1, could we, well, first of all, what's going on in between 2 and x? Is that adding, subtracting, multiplying, or dividing? Multiplication, there and there, right? So couldn't I rearrange this?
Yes.
Go ahead and say 2 times 3 times x squared. This is just multiplication, so I can do 2 times 3 times x squared. Why did I write it like that? Well, what's 2 times 3? What's x times x squared? Wait, pause. There's a property for that. I have to think about adding the exponents. So I have x squared times x. I'm going to have x to the power of 3. X to the power of 3. A common mistake would be to do 6x squared.
No.
A common mistake would be to do 6x squared. Another common mistake might be to get 18x squared or 18x cubed. If they accidentally squared the 3. However, 6x cubed is the correct answer.
That's the only cold part of my body.
Okay, number 2. Remember, once again, when I'm writing exponents, when I have a number up here, it's the same thing as multiplication, right? Okay, so making sure we remember what exponents are. And the second one, question, do I have any like terms?
Yes.
I'm adding, right?
X.
What are my 2 like terms?
X.
X and, careful,
Squared.
a negative,
Negative 6x.
a negative 6x. Those are my only like terms. What am I going to do with the rest of the guys? The rest of the terms? Well, I can combine my x and my negative 6x. Let's leave the 5. What's x and negative 6x going to make? Negative 5x. However, this isn't the way we're supposed to leave it. Who remembers the name for what I'm... Ooh, that's an x squared, isn't it? Did anybody catch my mistake?
I do.
Yes.
Good. I'm not supposed to leave it like that. What form am I supposed to put it into? Standard form. And standard form tells me who goes first. The strongest exponent, right? The strongest exponent. So x squared goes first. Who's the next strongest exponent?
Minus 5x.
And I can change adding a negative to minusing, right? And then what's going to go last because he doesn't have any x's? Final answer, x squared minus 5x plus 5.
You got right.
Doing all right? Questions on what we missed? Okay. Number 3. I'm going to give you guys the final answer, and then I'll walk through the steps, and so that way you know whether or not you got it right. The final answer is negative 2x to the 5th.
Yup.
got 1 times x.
Now let's talk it through. Let's talk it through.
Oh, it's multiply.
You can look at negative x cubed as negative 1x cubed. Remember, parentheses just mean multiply. Can't I make it negative 1 times 2 times x cubed times x squared? What happens to negative 1 times 2? Negative 2. What happens to x cubed times x squared? Like bases, I combine by adding, right? X cubed times x squared is x to the 5th. And if it helps, you guys can always think about it the long way of x cubed times x squared is x times x times x 3 times, and then x times x 2 times. Put them together, what do I have?
5.
And then you just add the negative.
I actually multiplied it.
Does that make more sense?
Yeah.
You only multiply when you raise a power to a power, right?
If it's like parentheses and then it's that to the power.
Exactly. So no multiplying in this one. The very last one. Let me give you the final answer because I know some of you guys are just wanting to know whether or not you got it right first. The final answer should be negative 2x plus 1.
Oh, I think that's.
Now let's double check just in case some of you guys got this one wrong. I need to get rid of my parentheses. This is what we talked about yesterday.
A little bit off.
We need to get rid of those parentheses to combine.
Yes, sir.
Alright. Extra comments. Justin, focus. We need to get rid of those parentheses, so I put little ones in front. The subtraction is adding a negative. I need to distribute, but this one stays the same. What's going to happen to the second one? Aiden, can I go? It's okay, leave it for now. Leave it for now.
Minus X.
I'm going to have a negative x, and I'm going to have negative 1 times 1 is a negative 1. Then we go ahead and say, hey, are there any like terms to combine? I change my subtractions to adding negatives, and I say, let's combine all of the x terms, and let's combine all of the numbers. We can end up with negative 1x plus negative 1x is negative 2x. 2 minus 1 is a positive or plus 1. Okay? Kiddos, this entire page, we were adding terms, as you can tell in these ones, right? We were adding terms in 2 and 4, and what were we doing in 1 and 3? Multiplying. However, what we need to change in section 7.2 is we're not just going to multiply monomials, we're going to multiply polynomials. Alright, here we go.
Polly means many.
I added them instead of multiplied them.
You were doing like what we were supposed to.
Yeah. So I thought it was so easy.
Josh, writing. Different method, same idea. Today we're going to learn 2 ways to multiply binomials. Anybody has... Alan, you're writing, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Multiplying binomials. All together, we're going to see 3 ways. We're going to see the distributive way today, which is also called the horizontal way. We're going to learn the distributive way today. We're going to learn the table way today. And then on Tuesday, we're going to learn the foiling way. If you've ever heard of foiling,
Yes.
don't talk about it. Don't talk about it. That's Tuesday. Leave it alone. Leave it alone today.
Miss Johnson told us.
Yeah.
What?
You learned it about
No.
First. Oh, outside,
Say
inside,
anything.
and out.
Shh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So hopefully you're going to be like me. But we have to get everything all set and ready to go. So, I'm going to show you one method. We're going to practice with that one method. Homework's going to ask you to do this method. And then I'm going to show you a second method. We're going to practice that method. Homework's going to ask you to do the second method. So you guys are going to practice all 3 of them eventually, but ultimately, eventually you get to choose which one you like the best. Josh, you got it all done?
I actually do.
Good. Ready? I'm going to color code. You guys don't necessarily need to, but I'm going to go ahead and rewrite this to be x plus 2 in red. X plus 2 in red. And I'm going to show the other guy in, I don't know, blue sounds good. X plus 5.
Not yet.
I already know the final answer.
Hold on. I'm going to go ahead and write the x plus and the 2 very spread apart. I'm going to write the x plus 2, and I'm going to spread it apart even more.
Whoa, that's a little too much.
And here's why I'm going to do that, is because, guys, if you look at this x plus 2, aren't there 2 terms? It's a binomial. Aren't there 2 terms? In between each of these binomials, since they're next to each other, is an understood multiplication, right?
Yes, sir.
Since the parentheses are next to each other, this is multiplication in between, right?
Yes, sir.
It's not shown, but it is. So here's the long story short. The x needs to be multiplied by the x plus 5. And the 2 needs to be multiplied by x plus 5.
Yes, sir.
Oh wait, yeah, you did do it right.
This is a way of breaking it up. This is a way of breaking it up. The x can be multiplied by x plus 5, and a 2 can be multiplied by x plus 5. Now we'll do a few more examples, but what we did is treat this second piece as one whole object. And it is, it's a binomial.
What?
And what we said is, ready? This needs to go to the x, and this needs to go to the 2. Now the nice thing is,
Miss, could you give me permission?
I'm teaching a lesson right now. So I have x times x plus 5, and I have 2 times x plus 5. Now, guys, once I rewrote that, what do we do now? Kind of like what we were doing a little bit earlier. How do I simplify? How do I keep going? I distribute. So I distribute the x. What's x times x?
X squared
X squared.
plus 5x plus
Now I need to go ahead and
2x
put
plus
a
10.
big plus.
2x
What's
plus 10.
2 times x?
2x plus 10.
And what's 2 times 5? Now, guys, these problems have lots of steps, but hopefully when you look at this expression, you're like, wait, I'm not done. And why am I not done? I need to simplify because I have some like terms.
7x plus square.
No, it's x squared plus.
Oh yeah, you're right.
The extra noises. How many guys got x squared plus 7x plus 10? And if you didn't, how many of you guys at least say, I think I followed your steps? I did. I got that.
I followed them.
When I multiplied x with x, I was thinking it's 2x instead of x.
Yeah, it's a common mistake, huh? Now, nice thing is I have 2 more examples, maybe even 3, that we're going to try with this method, okay? This is called the distributive method because we go ahead and split up the original x plus 5. We split up the second term to go with the first, with the x, and with the second, with the 2. Now let's go ahead and look at a couple more examples. Let's look at a couple more examples. Now to start this problem off, I'm going to do y spread apart plus 4. I'm going to do 5s spread apart plus 6. We're just given a big old space. We're writing it with a big old space. Josh, do you have a question today? Let's see if you can head some fast. No? Okay. Okay, what's going to go next to the y, guys?
Y plus 4.
I'm going to put a y plus, not y plus 4.
That's 1.
Yeah. I'm going to put a y plus 1 here. And where else am I going to put a y plus 1?
That's 4.
You see the process? Now what am I going to put? Let's try to follow the same pattern of thinking. What am I going to put for number 2 next to 5s? S minus 2. What am I going to put next to the 6? Nope, S minus 2. Alright kiddos, once you get this written, go ahead and try to distribute
Oh, I got it.
and then simplify. So finish both problems. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Caleb, you have these 2 totally worked out for me then? Alright, I'm trying to give you guys a little bit of time because here I come. And I go faster than you do.
But not as fast as
We
that
spread
crazy
out the
lady
y
I
plus
used to.
4 and put y plus 1 next to both. Then we spread out the 5s plus 6 and we put s minus 2 in both. Now our job is distribute. Yeah. So hopefully when you multiplied y times y, you got y squared. You have a plus.
Sir.
Y times 1 is 1.
Plus 4y plus 4.
Remember, when you multiply something by itself, we always write y to the power of 2. That's what exponents are.
Now we're doing it.
Exponents show repeated multiplication. Yes. Now, 4 times y would be 4y. Plus 4 times 1 is 4. Now guys, without me showing tons of work, don't I have 2 like terms?
Oh, yeah.
Put them together and I get 5y, but hold on, who has to go before that?
Y squared plus 5y plus 4 is the right answer.
Now question, is that in standard form or do I have to rearrange it?
That's already in standard form.
Because the y squared is first, then the y, then the number, so I can box it and be done. So let's go ahead and make sure you did the second one correct. What's 5s times s?
5s squared.
Good.
5s squared minus
Now subtraction,
minus
remember?
10s.
5s times 2 would be 10s. Because 2 times 5 is 10 and the s remains. I have a big old addition. 6s. Subtraction, 6 times 2 is 12. Now, it's very, very easy to make a mistake with our subtraction. So I'm going to make a negative 10s and a negative 12.
Well,
But then we have to go ahead and combine like terms. Do we have any like terms?
negative 10s plus 6s equals.
Now, just to make sure I don't forget writing anything, I'm going to go ahead and write the 5s squared, just to make sure I don't forget writing anything. But then the negative 10s plus 6s will be
Negative
minus or
4s
negative 4s.
plus negative 12
Yeah.
or minus 12, however you want to write it.
Okay, how many of you guys got at least one of those right?
Oh man. That's
Okay,
not-
how many of you guys got both of them right? Okay. Those of you guys that missed one, do you have any questions for me before we move on? There's one more method.
No.
Okay.
So when you distribute it,
Uh-huh.
do you distribute like, what do you multiply by?
Can I
Except
use?
that one was y, and then that one was 5s.
Yeah, let's use this one. So this one I was doing this arrow right here, right? The 5s times the s.
Uh-huh.
Do you need to think about writing it? If I have 5s times s, how do I rewrite that in simpler form? I do 5s squared, and that's where this came from.
Oh, okay.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's what we're doing when we do it kind of quick.
Oh.
We're thinking of them multiplied by each other and using exponents to help us write it nicer.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, Aiden.
So, you got 6s by multiplying 6 times 2 in the second step.
I got 6s by multiplying right here.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And then 6 times 2 is what got us the 12. But there's that negative because of the subtraction. Does that
How do
make
you
sense?
know which sides plug into each one?
Oh, it all depends on what signs you're working with. So like in, hey, Kara's, why are we talking? In front of 5, we have a positive, right? Because there's no sign. So when I multiply by a positive s, a positive times a positive is a positive. Does that make sense? Then as we kept on going to the next part where we had a positive 5s times, see the subtraction right here? Remember that subtraction can be rewritten as adding and negative. So a positive 5 times a negative 2, what's that going to be? Negative 10. See? So you look at the signs as you multiply. So these little subtractions, you can make little negative numbers. So like 6 times negative 2, negative 12. You see it?
So whenever there's negative or subtraction,
You can always make it plus a negative.
you have to.
Well, if you're getting the signs always right, maybe you can shortcut it, but a lot of people make mistakes in the signs, so I'm trying to keep us from making mistakes. Okay, there's one more method we'll see. This is the last method for today. Using a table. For some of you, using a table is going to help you organize. and Jordan, what you were asking me earlier, kind of works with this.
That's how I do it. So I can do it. And it's kind of just like.
Yeah, it's hard to stay organized. Some of you are like, whoa, there was a lot going on in those other examples, and you're right, there was a lot going on.
Do we have to know how to do it?
In homework, you're gonna practice it, but remember, eventually, like for the quiz and the test, you get to choose probably what method you want to use.
know how to do it.
As long as you're always doing it.
No, the table is.
Ow.
Now let me show you the table, all right? Some of you kind of already know it from other classes. Mrs. Johnson, what was that? Was that physical science?
No,
Oh, bio. I forget that she teaches bio as well. Okay. For the table, we write each of these terms, except we need to go ahead and change the subtraction to adding a negative again. So we're going to have 2x and negative 3. Okay. Then we're going to have x and positive 5. Okay? So we split it up in the sense of we write one of the binomials going across, and we write the other binomial going down. But remember, you have to have the correct sign. So the 2x was positive, and Aiden with that subtraction, the 3 became a negative. X is positive, 5 is positive, there we go. Now, to fill the squares, you just need to take each of the terms that's bordering the square. Like, in order to fill this square right here, who am I going to multiply? Yeah, I'm going to multiply x and 2x together. So x times 2x is going to be 2x squared. Yeah. It's a
Bro.
focus.
You just stay
We're good.
off.
Josh, stop. Now, as I move over,
Not that.
for this blank right here, aren't I going to be multiplying x times negative 3? So x times negative 3 is negative 3x.
Yeah.
Right?
Negative.
You're not filling it in. For this one right here, I'm going to be multiplying the 5 times who? The 5 times 2x. 5 times 2x is 10x.
That's so easy.
And then for this one over here, I'm going to be multiplying the 5 times the negative 3. You guys see it?
True.
Which is negative 15.
Oh, yeah.
Now wait, I need to put all these together.
Oh wait, is this one?
Yeah.
Is this a 20?
Kind of.
Oh my gosh.
Jay, calm down.
Okay. Now kiddos, we have two options as to how to simplify. We have two options how to simplify.
Dylan's smart.
But here's my silly way of remembering how to simplify. We take this term plus these combined terms plus this term. We have 2x squared. We can write it all out, but we could also maybe shortcut the process. We put all the pieces together,
It's 2x squared.
but if you think the 2x squared stays, what happens to the 10 and the negative 3? They combine to be 7x. And then what's going to be this last term? Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah.
Now I would love to do one more example with the table, okay?
Boom shakalaka.
Some of you guys have already seen the Punnett squares, so you're like, ah, it's no big deal.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean it was always easy with the Punnett squares, right? So let's do one more example, and I'm actually going to choose this example right here if that's okay. Yeah. So we need to write 1 going across, remember, subtraction is adding a negative. So I have r and negative 5, and I have 2r and negative 1.
Oh, yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, dang it.
My arm hurts. Injured. I'm an injured man.
Thanks. I do it right.
Nope.
So then 2r times r, did you guys get 2r squared?
Yeah.
I think so.
2r times negative 5, did you get negative 10r? Negative 1 times r, negative r. Negative 1 times negative 5 is a positive 5. Gotta be careful of your signs, but now we need to combine these together. Can I combine diagonally?
Oh.
Final answer, double check the signs. 2r squared.
Minus 11R plus 5.
Oh, sound like demons.
Because negative 1r minus 10 or plus negative 10r is negative 11r. Now kiddos, you've been doing a great job.
Thank you.
I'm going to have you guys in just a moment take a picture of the homework. It's right there. But first of all, hold on. What would change? Oh my goodness, it's so much harder. Is it?
No.
Yeah.
What's the table? What are we going to do?
Table gets longer.
400,000 would be better.
Now wait a minute. I don't like the long going down. Maybe we'll rearrange it. But if we go this way, can we still solve using our table idea?
I think so.
I think so too. We'll see that tomorrow. That's actually harder than you're going to see in
Tomorrow?
homework. Let's take it
Oh,
on.
you're
On
Oh, I was doing it.
I know, it was a good one, right?
You're the Gucci.
Ah.
It was
Take a
Robert.
picture of the silver due on Tuesday.
Hold us back, bro. It's a miracle.
Yeah, what was
Does
it?
anybody have a homework
Well,
with
hang
a
on,
name
hang
on it? I don't know who it is.
Joshua Swales. It's Josh Swales.
Tyler?
It's Josh Swales.
Did you leave? I'm gonna whip this way.
Josh Swales.
How did you put on a jacket?
Is the lobster challenge like open and there's no the Mexico?
Nice. That's a nice one. Sam. How do you say your Korean name? Leo. He's like, oh, I haven't seen your Korean name. Okay.
The whole is first, now the second I like this I put this first.